Loot Bet, made for live betting.
Don't know how to build a team from scratch or find good teammates? DreamTeam.gg, the ultimate team building platform. Find and connect with new players, coaches and teams. Manage and monetize your team. Get on fast track to advance from novice to amateur and, if desired, to professional gamer. Join DreamTeam.gg today.
It's the quick scope! This is unreal! Anything is possible! Anything is possible! Ustillo is a monster, Tom!
Welcome back. We do have the next best of 3 on the way. It is, of course, going to be GODSENT up against AVANGAR. I think this game is going to be interesting. I think it's going to be fun, to be honest. I'm not sure where I'm leaning yet. I'm going to wait for the map veto myself, but obviously the 1-1 matchup, so we're going to be seeing who will move forward with the 2-1 and only be one game away from getting out of these Swiss format.
Yeah, which is, in all honesty, pretty surprising for both these sides to be in that kind of a scenario, regardless of who comes out on top. Here we see what we've been able to, I guess, set in stone so far. Renegade's Gambit currently 1-0. Gambit up by a significant margin on map 2. But we got to see Energy being able to deal with Vici Gaming, which means that Vici have seen the end of their tournament for now, and Energy lives on for another day. Then, obviously, we've got North versus Hellraisers coming up, the rematch of the DreamHack Tours finals. We're going to be doing AVANGAR versus GODSENT. Then later on in the day, Virtus.pro Na'Vi. That should be a sick game. NIP versus Tyloo, HGO, Mouse, and SK Gaming versus Liquid.
I think we have some of the more interesting matchups today, to be honest. I'm excited by the NIP Tyloo game myself. I feel like Tyloo has very good upset potential. They've already taken down Na'Vi and looked good while doing so. So, yeah, some good teams here left up. AVANGAR, definitely one of the more rising teams, I guess you could say, obviously making a name for themselves last year when they went through the minor system, made their way to the major, and since then have actually not like fallen off. We look at like the QB Fire and AVANGAR, the CIS teams that made their way, and QB, I mean, where are they?
I said it during the major. I stick by it. The worst team to ever make it to, make it that far in the major. That's the end of it. They have actually played the worst game of a major I've ever seen, and that was versus Vici Gaming.
Oh, wow.
on Inferno. It's literally the worst Counter-Strike I've ever seen in my life.
That's impressive.
At a pro level. So, yeah, no, that was something else. I definitely didn't expect them to make it that far, and they have fallen off.
I did call AVANGAR, though, to actually continue to be a good team, because I did see some serious promise.
Yeah, it seemed more sustainable than what QB Fire were doing.
Yeah.
Definitely so. I can get on board with that. As for, having a slow rise, I guess, more so than the others, is GODSENT. You can see their win percentages here as of late for the last 3 months. They've gotten, I guess, a bit of a turnaround.
Oh, they've been playing massively, or playing massively better than they were at least a few months ago. Obviously, this new GODSENT roster looking good. Hampers has really restructured the team, and he's still able actually to be one of the better performers on the roster as well. I'd say one of the top 2 performers on this team, alongside Twist and Brolin, definitely could make a name for themselves in that sense. But just before we break down this matchup and talk about GODSENT, let's check out a little pre-match interview.
Guys, I'm so excited right now to be joined by Narsu, the coach of GODSENT, the famous son of Nartu from Finland.
Hello.
Okay, that's a fake news, right?
Yeah, that's right.
But on the other hand, you are brothers with the very well-known Tommy, analyst and former player who is now the GM for Immortals, right?
Yeah.
You are having very good results as coach. Your brother tweeted about it. The recent results from GODSENT have been slowly on the increase, and that could have potentially have been from your influence. I drew from that. What would you say? How has your role been as a coach, and do you think you're having the impact that you want?
Not as much as I could have. Right now it's a lot on Hampus, him doing a good job, like micromanaging the team. So it's kudos to him. He does a great job.
Okay, and so that's interesting. I think we're relatively similar ages. How old are you, Nosu?
28 in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm June the 9th myself.
9th?
Yeah.
Ah, me too.
No. All right, interesting. That was completely unscripted. Really cool. No way. So my point was that being of our age, is it interesting to hand control over to someone that's much younger? Because Hampus is one of the younger players on your team. Not as young as Bronn, but how old is Hampus?
I'm not even sure. I think 19,
yes,
20.
I think so. And so what's that dynamic like, handing off, like, of course, because you can't be speaking in game, those duties to him and trusting someone of his age to lead?
It's kind of easy because he's been doing it all, like, for all the time he's been playing, he's been leading. So I guess he has a lot more experience than you would expect from a 20-year-old. All
right. And moving forward, then, as a coach, how much research and what kind of research have you done for your opponents?
Well, when I know who we're going to play, I like to just come up with a map, like how the Vita is going to be, what we want to pick, what they're going to pick. And then I usually just look at some of the recent demos and, come up with a game plan for you.
It's been great to chat. Would you like to say anything else?
No, all good. Let's win.
Good luck. Good luck.
Thank you.
I think that was the most Finnish interview I've ever seen.
Yeah, I'm curious if Tommy has seen his brother in action there. That was very Finnish of him. Do you have anything more to say? No.
No, I'm done. Let me go.
Yeah. No, so obviously a very familiar name for those who've been around Counter-Strike for a couple of years. Obviously one of the very pillars of Finnish Counter-Strike back in the day, with the likes of his brother and someone like Natu, for instance. Definitely made their mark on the scene over multiple years. So cool to see him being involved in a non-Finnish team as well. I mean, it's kind of maybe not the most natural mix of having Finns playing with Swedes. Normally you'd see it being the other parts of Scandinavia, I guess, mixing around with players and so on. But it seemed to be working out because GODSENT, as you mentioned, have been much better as of late than what they were doing.
Yeah, certainly, right? When they made the whole Fnatic switch up a while ago, and Fnatic went back to their original roster, everyone was kind of going, oh, this team's going to fall apart. Like, this team will never really achieve anything. It seems like the rejects. But no, they've come here and they've proven that they're not that team. And definitely their recent online performance and even some of their recent lands as well, they've looked better than a lot of people would have expected. So new things for GODSENT, but this is AVANGAR as well, the CIS Kazakh team. Let's talk a little bit about them after this interview.
What is going on, everybody? I'm here with Kikert from AVANGAR. Great to see you.
Hi.
All right, so let's just delve into this next matchup. Are you guys completely prepared for your opponents, and what have you been doing to get as ready as possible?
We just watched our previous game and we fixed some mistakes, and now we are ready to play next game.
And what happened against SK, where you fell 2-0?
We just made some crucial mistakes which we wouldn't do in online, but I don't think it's like set loose. We fixed everything.
And since you've been getting more opportunities to play on LAN, how would you say you guys are in that environment compared to playing online when you're at home?
I mean, on LAN you can just play like free CS. On LAN you have to play like team play CS, structure CS, and etc. In online you're just running and shooting.
When I spoke to your coach, he gave quite an inspirational speech about you guys and your country and that everyone should get involved and cheer. Do you feel that? The fans supporting you from home?
Sure, we feel it because we have our own fan pages and people usually writing a lot like support and cheering for us, and there are zero like hate or just mad words in our address.
That's great. Awesome to hear you are being supported. Finally then, just a bit on GODSENT as your opponents. Tell me what the keys to victory for your team will be.
We didn't play against them for a long time. Last time it was like on qualifiers to Katowice, which we won. So I think they improved a lot, but still we are happy to play against them.
Great stuff. Well, Kicker, best of luck once again, and I hope your fans are cheering loudly.
Thank you.
That was Kicker, probably my favourite upcoming player from the CIS region, in my opinion, that's not already been on the main stage, at least as much as some of these other players. Really, really good in his own right. We actually saw him first in the CIS minor, where he was, without a doubt, the best player on his team. And then they went to the major qualifier through that, and Buster really showed through as the strong guy as well. And I don't think Kicker really had the performance that he showed prior to that, which is a bit of a shame. But since then, AVANGAR have been on the rise, definitely the up and up, looking really, really good on a recent online performance, and yeah, exciting things to come from this team, I'm sure.
Definitely so, and it's fun to see that, you know, when they busted out on the scene and made it to the major qualifiers and so on. The fact that when you asked Gambit, like, so who are these guys? They literally just said, we don't know.
Not heard of them. No. Like, sorry, who? Avan who?
Yeah. But they've definitely made their mark on the scene in a positive manner, which is really cool to see from the Kazakhstani squad. Plus James, who is from Russia. But into the vetoes we go. So Dusto is going to be taken out by GODSENT. Nuke is removed from AVANGAR. And we saw from the, well, both teams' statistics that they have no problems playing maps like Mirage and the likes, Inferno and so on.
I already like this veto. The two worst maps in the pool are gone. That's always a nice sign.
Yeah, and we're going to see some more overpass here. GODSENT feeling confident in their abilities to play that map. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see AVANGAR picking Mirage, actually.
Ooh,
they're gonna go with Cash. That's a bit of a loop, actually. Yeah, last time they played, just to be fair, as Kickert mentioned in the interview, they did play Mirage and Overpass, but Cash has has also been in their previous heads-to-heads, so it's familiar territory for both teams. They've played each other on it, but I think it's very fair to say that it's a different look from GODSENT this time around than what we have right now.
I mean, I'm sure even for AVANGAR as well, because again, they made recent roster changes, got Jame out of the team only to pull him back in after
like a week or something.
A couple of weeks. And they were saying as well in an interview, they've given him more room, they've given him more space to kind of perform, because he really was the one of the bottom performers for the team when we saw them at the major. I think he was actually the lowest rated player at the major, if I'm correct with that one.
That could be.
So yeah, it was a bit of a shame to see that, knowing he has a very good skill set with that AWP, but apparently giving him more room will be interesting.
Yeah, I was actually a little bit disappointed that they went back to it, because Ramsik, the player they brought in, is someone I think is one of the more exciting talent that's from that region as well. So with him coming into AVANGAR, I was expecting big things to come out of them. But yeah, on we go to Overpass, and as you can see, both these teams, I guess, suffer in quotation marks the fact that they're not necessarily playing the top level of teams at any given time. But if you're beating everyone you're playing, you're doing a good job, and AVANGAR has just done that with victories versus Gambit on Overpass. Not a bad Overpass team at all, and a couple of wins versus Kingwin there as well. But I would still hold a bit of a, I guess, lean the way of GODSENT, though, for this first map at least.
Yeah, I think it's a safe bet to say, considering their recent performance. I feel like if you looked at this a few months ago, maybe you'd lean in the way of AVANGAR, especially running off the hot streak of the major. But yeah, GODSENT certainly looking like the better team at the moment, but I don't think you can discredit AVANGAR and say that they don't have an opportunity here. This is definitely a game that I would not be surprised if it went to 3 maps. Especially with the map pool now, of course, Mirage coming in as a final map. That's a very comfortable map for both teams.
Yeah, exactly. I think all of these really are comfy maps. They've played each other on them, in the past as well, so they know what they're going up against in that sense. I think we're in for, well, hopefully we're in for not too one-sided, not too many one-sided maps.
Yeah, I'm trying to form a prediction, but I honestly don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if GODSENT 2-0'd, but that being said, I'm kind of hoping for a 3-mapper here, and when we head to Mirage, it's anyone's game.
I wouldn't be against it either, but yeah, I have okay, my official prediction is on GODSENT.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Yeah, so I kind of feel like I have to stick with that. Can't really weasel my way out of it.
No. One thing as well for AVANGAR that's definitely made a change recently in terms of their recent performances, I'd say Krisen's been pulling his own weight a lot more now. Obviously the IGL for AVANGAR, and he struggled a lot individually when he was at least at the major and around that time. But since then, we've actually seen him have quite a few games recently where he's put up a hell of a lot of kills. ACL was a good example. Had a good couple of games there. Of course, that was a recent 100k LAN in Russia. So AVANGAR have actually, in this event so far, played teams that they've been playing against recently quite a lot. So SK, which they played in the final of that, and Gambit, which they recently beat online as well. So yeah, we haven't really seen AVANGAR up against any different teams this event, so it's kind of exciting now to see them against an unknown quantity in the form of this this new GODSENT team, where, well, not new, but newly improved GODSENT team.
Yeah, exactly. No, definitely improved on the side of GODSENT. So it's going to be fun to watch. I've always been a big fan of Twist, and obviously probably the biggest talent to come out of Sweden in sometime in Brawlin. So it's going to be fun to see how he progresses as a player, only being 15 years old.
Yeah, it's hard to like pick who's the best players for GODSENT when they switch pretty much every single game. Like, you can have Twist going off all match with the AWP, but then you have Brolin just entering every round, and then suddenly Hampus is just dropping 30 kills out of absolutely nowhere. This team has a hell of a lot of firepower, but it is not only just one way, so do AVANGAR.
Yeah, definitely so. And also Disco Doppelin has been having a pretty good event so far, obviously. Only 2 matches played, but better than having a poor 2 games, right? So it's fun to see him. Obviously, Disco Doppelin was one of the really exciting players. If you go back, a year plus in time, got a trial chance with Fnatic and so on. Stood in for an oral, with NIP as well. So it was kind of on the fringe of joining the very best teams in Sweden, and it never really came to be. It ended up in the mess that was the original, the OG GODSENT squad. But
bit of an early fight, though. We are pretty quickly into this, and AVANGAR are pretty quickly up long, although that will not work out for them well. They traded equally in terms of damage, but the kills go the way of the T side. James faking the rotation down towards B, only to swap positions in the connector bit. In the meantime, GODSENT found 3 picks up on A, so they're just going to take control of the site. AVANGAR very slow on this rotation here. I'm surprised by that. Chrism was committed to B, considering there's a man in connector. That surprises me. GODSENT do have the bomb down now into a very, very simple post plant, but the only question mark is there are 2 low players. Yeah.
Brolin, though, is in a really good position by restrooms. Even though he's low HP, James has already spotted out one guy at long. Well, actually,
nice.
He's going to be fully focused on the guy at long as well, and that's going to get an easy kill in the way of the young talent from Sweden. Krisen left to his own devices. As he said, the in-game leader has been stepping up individually as of late, but pretty tough task to go up against 3 GODSENT players in an after-plant position. So Doppelin is going to get his 2nd frag of the round and also close out the pistol. GODSENT get off to a good start.
Yeah, the start they would have hoped for as well on their T side of overpass. AVANGAR forcing things up. James does have the scout.
This is actually pretty cool, the way they went about it. Dimasic, since he got a frag in that starting round, he was the one buying a scout for James, so James doesn't necessarily take the big economic hit by getting a scout, so he can still get an op in their first buy round if he wants to.
I'm assuming he bought the Deagle back for Dimasic.
Yeah, exactly. So they just trade around. That's money saved for James. That's smart, actually. Oftentimes you see people pick up a scout, but it's not necessarily the op or the sniper on your side that actually uses it in a lot of these ecos.
Because if you just buy a Deagle in this round, you should end up on about 4,900 when it comes down to that CT buy. So just enough for the AWP and a flashbang.
Yep. And I mean, if you get a couple of kills here and there as well, that just adds to it. For now, though, Kristen's the one to open things up, finds Brawlin and Underpass. Just take a lot of damage, but manages to escape out of there. That's really all that matters. Meanwhile, though, GODSENT, they're moving up towards the B-bomb side, and the stack from AVANGAR towards A long is not going to do too much in this round. It's going to be an easy bomb plant for the Swedes here. And remains to be seen if AVANGAR actually wants to go for any sort of retake. We've seen some teams decide to save, be very conservative with these kind of situations. That does not seem to be the case immediately. Kristen committed here to the angles, waiting for Freddy. He's actually going to find the frag as well.
Now they're surely going to give this a go at the very least, or at least attempt some damage, because they have a 5-on-3. It'd be a waste to go in for the full save, but they don't even get to choose. GODSENT get aggressive and clean them up. But yeah, for one point in time, that looked like a very dangerous round for the side of GODSENT. Luckily enough, time was playing as another factor against AVANGAR, so not really going to be able to get too much done there after the initial 2 kills, and we're back down to pistols here for the CT side. P250s, a flashbang from kick up, maybe just burst them up through a fountain. But we have so many SMGs in play, this really shouldn't be a worry for GODSENT.
Freddy's actually just up to go with the Deagles, who's not looking to get that much money in either. Well,
Swedes with Deagles, though.
Yeah, that is a pretty scary notion. They're just going to bust right into that B-bomb site. No real resistance met either. Stack once more, not really working out for AVANGAR. He's going to run up towards the site. Guard's getting picked off by Twists, Molotov, MAC-10, you name it. He's doing it with every weapon available. Deagle doesn't work out for Freddy, but it does enough damage at least to soften him up for Disco. Disco Dumpling gets another kill to his name, and Twist finishes it off with a 4K. A lot of money earned on the Opera this side of GODSENT.
Yeah, and exactly what you want as well, considering, as we said, James has been saving. He's now got that AWP in his hands.
And on the side of GODSENT, not going to opt for an op for the first buy round, even though they had plenty of money to actually do so. Maybe gives away, I guess, what kind of tempo they're looking to set early on in the game. We saw that, you know, on both sides, really, with both Vici and Energy in our first series, in our first series, that whenever they opted to go away from the op, that definitely pushed up the tempo in general of their defaults.
And even if GODSENT loses round, they can surely rebuy that op and give it a go.
Definitely can. Only
Slow
Freddy
pace.
really who's low on money. The other 4 players are sitting very pretty. Some late short control being attempted from AVANGAR, and it's actually going to work out even with the flashes. Buster finds 2. It's an equal trade eventually as Doppelin comes in to salvage things, but he takes a significant amount of damage here, down to 7 HP. Sick so far, the only player on that B-bomb side. He will have a rotation coming in for him. Molotov is also defused by the... Oh, good, that's a trouser nade right there.
Hefty damage. 50 health, but they don't know he's here, because the thing is, he was hiding in the smoke. They never actually made any contact, so he can just line them up. 2 kills for him. Jame rotates in with the AWP as well, so AVANGAR get their first round on the board. Couple of players surviving. Bit of money kept on. But as we said, you know, GODSENT, they can afford to lose that round. If they give away one, they can rebuy. If they really want, they can get the AWP in. They'll have a slower approach to this round and have a far better buy to contest back.
Definitely so. You saw Buster finding those 2 frags at underpass, pretty much destroying any hopes GODSENT had of taking that B-bomb site quickly. Also doing lots of damage on Disco Doppelin. You mentioned it, Buster, especially during the major qualifiers, was one of the players to really shine and make a name for himself. And it's cool to see that that just wasn't just a one-off thing. GODSENT, though, very passive approach, actually. Not really willing to take any sort of battles towards the fountain area. Actually going to lead the charge through underpass. Meanwhile, though, a bit of a unique setup on the side of AVANGAR as well. 4 players towards this A-bomb site without any real information to play off of. They only have Buster towards that B-bomb site.
The thing is, there's so much trade potential with this setup. The second anyone dies from AVANGAR, they can instantly just peek out from toilets and get a kill. James Smoke is about to fade. He's about to be left behind to dry. Hampers gets the kill. Bit of a mistake from James' end. Late on the retreat. And AVANGAR not looking to trade. Sick beginning to walk his way down. Brolin's holding the angle and a great shot from Brolin. Of course, it's what we expect from this man. Kickert's the only person to get a kill on the CT side, and that is up on long, but AVANGAR showing the fact that they're stacked up towards A is just going to promote GODSENT's rotate. They don't want to go anywhere near that site, so they will begin to push back down towards B.
Hampers actually misses his Molotov, so rotations could still come in through lower. But for now, AVANGAR too far away, and they're also looking at a potential reset here if they were to lose this round. 2v4 seems to be the most likely option as well, so holding on to these weapons is probably the best way to go about it. Buster's going to swap out the FAMAS for an AWP. No, probably give that away to Jame as the next round concludes, or starts. If he's able to survive, we'll see if GODSENT have any interest in actually pushing around. You can see Brolin is actually moving his way up towards underpass here. He's going to run into Kickert. So information gained does take a little bit of damage, but they can start the pincer movements here. You can see 3 of the GODSENT players on the extremities of the map just slowly closing in.
Ooh.
Buster Is he going to hear this? Yes, he will. So deals with Hampus, will be able to hold on to that op and kick it as well. Safely tucked away in the corner of restrooms. So 2 weapons managed to be brought on into the next round.
Nice.
Team does pick it up the op.
Sorry.
No.
Nice to see that from GODSENT, though. The second they lose that one player on the back campus, they instantly just slow down and stop, because if you lose more than 2 players, yeah, it's going to be a bit of an issue. So.
Exactly. That's when it starts digging into your economy. And GODSENT, you know, even though they're up 4-1, because AVANGAR won that previous round, they haven't really solidified their economy by any means at this point.
Well, back to B here for GODSENT.
Op in the hands of Twist now as well, but here's the op that we talked about. James saved as well. Manages to dodge the Molotov at the very end of it. But in we go towards B with GODSENT. 3 players on the site for AVANGAR. Keeker's going to open things up with a nice headshot onto Disco Doppelin.
Smoke down on the site, tries to find another angle, but that Molotov blocks him off from moving to his left. Now it's faded, but the smoke certainly hasn't, as Brolin sits and hides in at 29 HP. Inches from death as Kicker, he's going to get a few inches of hair removed. Headshot as Hampus gets traded back down on long. The AWP tries to keep the round alive, at least for the T side. It's just Twist. Somehow Brolin got knifed in all of that madness, and Twist is trying to keep it alive. 1 frag found, can wrap back up towards short, has the AK now to work with. So this is going to be far better against lower HP targets. Easily able to get a 1-shot onto players like James, and Buster tagged up. James is going to stick the bomb. 8 seconds on this defuse. He needs to speed on up. He needs to check this defuse because he doesn't know that they're fully committing to it. Jay gets off and he misses the shot. Massive mistake.
Oof. And not having a defuse kit in that situation, that is a complete nightmare. I don't think Buster had one on him either, actually, in that scenario. So a rough thing, but if you're James and you've already committed to holding the defuse for that long, you just have to stick it. I mean, you've already basically put Buster in a 1v1 situation, so it doesn't really benefit anything at all from leaving the defuse.
And typically you want the AWP to watch the angle while Buster maybe gets on the defuse. I mean, it's subjective, right? Like,
it depends on the angle you think is coming from, all that kind of stuff.
But it would be justified to see Buster get on the bomb and James actually hold the angle instead if he knew he was coming wrapping back round on short, especially.
I think it was more down to the fact that Buster had the forward positioning in that scenario, so James was jumping from higher. Yeah. But in the end, Twist does a good job of winning that 1v3. It looked like it was going to be a much easier round with Hampus finding 2 frags and nearly, taking out Dimasik coming in from behind as well, just all in his lonesome. But as you said, in all the chaos, one of the GODSENT players get knifed. Oh, 3-man sack on long. Dealt with pretty well there, in all honesty. Brawling finding 2 and Twist finally finding Kristen as well. So eco round not panning out as AVANGAR would have hoped. They seem to be liking doing stacks here whenever they're up with when they don't really have the weaponry to go up against GODSENT, and I'm not opposed to that at all.
Even on the first buy round, they stacked up on A, and it looked like it could have worked, but they were playing extremely passive. They were just hoping GODSENT would commit and maybe walk past them, and so they could go for the retake from toilets. But bomb down, Buster in the smoke. He's going to try and work his way through, but as soon as that fades, he's going to go down. And already sprayed on the exit as well. Pistol out for Hampus. There we go. There's a good lead so far for GODSENT, but I'm not looking too deep into it. We're only 7 rounds into the map. Still a chance for AVANGAR to hit back with a round or 2 of their own.
Yeah, haven't been too many buy rounds on the side of AVANGAR yet. But I guess one worry for me is the fact that this is going to be the 3rd time James has had the op in his hands. He hasn't really been able to do too much with it. We saw him getting caught out behind the smoke as faded towards Banana in 1 round. And I think he's been able to get 1 connection outside of that. One of the B pushes for GODSENT, but we need to see him having his impact, especially if he's given a freer role. Then he needs to really make it worth their while.
Oh, GODSENT very fast outside of B though. Hampus looked like he wanted to challenge up short there for a second, but instead he gets challenged. Buster pushed out, and now they're going to focus their attention down to Buster, but Quicker also peaks at the same time. This is a really good combo from AVANGAR because Kicker has his back covered by the AWP of James, who needs to be very careful he doesn't get caught out here, but it's actually the other way round. He catches out Twist, pulling his knife into his hands, and GODSENT get a knife in the back.
Just 3 for 3 and getting caught out now for GODSENT in this round. Not a recipe for success. Bomb still dropped far, far away as well. Disco's just going to go for a bit of a Hail Mary play through the smoke. Doesn't work out. And Buster gets the 2nd kill of the round as Brawlin dies. And clean round for AVANGAR, much needed as well. Their economy has been a bit all over the place. So that's going to go a long way to get them or somewhat stabilized. But still, as you mentioned, a pretty good start for GODSENT, 6-2. That's nothing to scoff at this early stage.
Yeah, and again, if they find the Spyron here, it's going to reset AVANGAR, put them back down to pistols. The money will be on the edge. So that's the intention here of GODSENT in the 9th round of the half. 3 players in the fountain and the playground early on. AVANGAR did go for the quick peek. That AWP from Jamie gets tagged down to 20, so has to fall back as Brolin takes his way up the connector. I'd like to see Brolin with an AK here instead of a CZ. Someone could swap. That won't be the case for now. However, it's not like he can't get it done with a CZ. I'd like to hear where you stand on that, right? Some people make the argument, you know, you see Simple, for example. Let's use him as just the argument.
Yep.
You see Simple and Na'Vi, and you see they have like 1 AK, and they'll give it to Zeus, and they'll give Simple a Deagle. Now, I think that's stupid. But some people make the argument that, oh, but Simple's good enough in the Deagle that it may make sense for him to use it to give a rifle to his teammate. Don't you think?
I think it's a
silly argument.
I think it's a fine line, depending on how good the player on your team is. I think if it's Simple, you just give him whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Same thing like with a player like Nico, for instance, because they can single-handedly win around. I don't think any star player on. I think there's extremely few players in the world that could actually do something like that. So that's when it becomes more justified to actually have the assumed weaker player have a better weapon, because he's going to need all the help he can get to have an impact. But I also think it's also kind of watered out by the fact that you have a weapon like the ZZ, for instance. You can have hoofs and still be able to get kills with the CZ. That's how ridiculously easy it is. So
I mean, you only need 1 button.
Exactly. So smash the hoof on mouse 1 as your other hoof is smashing W and D. And you're almost set to get a kill in most situations. So I think that as well just leads you to, can lead you to the conclusion that you should give the AK away to the best player on your team, because you have other cheaper options, I guess, that can be just as easy to get something done with, depending on how you position yourself. I guess, yeah, like how you want to play out the rounds as well. I think it's different for T-sides. Always give your best player team up.
What? That's a 6 spray.
That is a 6 spray. Curious how many of those people he actually saw, though.
Well, he wants to find the ace, but
he's running for it. He's really getting in there.
I don't blame him.
James, go ahead.
After you. Oh.
This is where you need to send James down first. Oh, team is going to get it.
I would have team killed in that scenario. No way.
That's how you get kicked off teams.
Yeah, that's true. I am UK after all.
Yeah.
Toxic. Buy coming through for GODSENT again. No AWP in this one, though. That is the issue. And James still has his intact. So AVANGAR, it was a shaky start, but they clawed their way back into this. And if they just find this 1 rifle round, they will be fully on the road to 6-6.
That's very true. And GODSENT, it's going to remain to be seen what they want to do, if they want to opt to go back towards B with their focus, or if it's going to be more of a cookie cutter setup, more of a default coming out. And that seems to be the case as well. 2 players towards playground and 1 in underpass. Decent nade onto Brolin, taking out 39 HP. But again, we're not seeing too much aggression coming out from the Kazakhstani side. Perfectly happy with just showing some presence to start things off and then hold off, run back towards the side. And in fact, James is the only one really moving any forward at this point on the map towards A. He's actually left to his own devices. He could very easily get caught out in a situation like this if... Misses out on the shot as well. That might actually get a rotation in here.
But look at Hampers, talk about rotation. They're going to need them on B. He's snuck in through the long and into the smoke. Second shot coming through, but he can't finish off Beamer. Still Buster up towards short with a teammate as well, so he does respond. However, early damage done is going to make things far more difficult, but Buster, again, trying his best to try and keep this round alive. They're just running past it. Doppelin just leaves kick at the back and looks for the players in the CT spawn. One of those being Jane with the AWP. Disco Doppelin won't be challenged by the AWP. As him and Brolin sit steady, they need to try and find out exactly where Kicker is playing before they commit to anything too crazy like a bomb plant. Don't want to get shot through the smoke.
They don't have any nades either to kind of clear out. It actually goes aggressive for no real reason. They were in such a good position to just sit still and wait for GODSENT to attempt to plant the bomb. That is quite the blunder, really, from AVANGAR.
Yeah.
Nothing really that justifies Kickert's aggressive move there out from short. They had the setups. If somebody actually wants to commit to Kickert around the sandbags, he had one player on higher that could have gotten the return kill as soon as he wants to move back, or James and the player on higher could actually move in closer on the guy trying to plant the bomb if Godsent decide to separate themselves. That should have been round number 5. That should have been Godsent in a pretty awkward situation economically as well. Instead, they're given another shot to fight back, and damage being traded. James definitely winning that duel versus Freddy.
Not getting the kill you would have hoped for, though. And Hampus hears all these footsteps.
Pretty narrow angle to get a kill there.
Oh, that is as well. Won't stop him. The second AWP for AVANGAR chiming in here in the 12th round.
Buster's been moving aggressively towards water on short here quite often, actually. I'm seemingly finding positive trades every single time. It's something that Godsent need to address to at least make their job a little bit easier. Seems like Freddy has an inkling that somebody might be around that corner. Waits for the smoke to fade away. He knows. He knows. He has an inkling. He's going to wait for one of his buddies. Oh, Kickert actually moves forward. I think he was waiting for Brolin to get to the top of the underpass stairs so he wouldn't have to worry about a potential crossfire setup. But instead, Kickert moves out just in time, and now he's in an ideal position to just destroy everything about Godsent's setup.
Hampus opens the door, turns him around, and that's when Twist strikes from the top of the stairs, coming down. There's now 30 seconds left on the clock. Godsent need to come down towards this B site. One player close on the right. That's going to be Krisen. Oh, Hampus sneaking through smoke. He's may just walk to his death here. Buster going to hold the line with the AWP, but the weapon switch will catch Krisen off guard, leaving just Hampus in the 1v3. Flash does go over, not blinding anyone, but at least distracting the AWP from peeling away, and that's when James hits from above. AVANGAR, they may have lost the previous round, kind of giving away an opportunity, but they come straight back in with one of their own. Still resetting the economy of Godsent, still keeping it low.
Yeah, keeping themselves in the game in that sense. And Buster, once again, being a vital part to that B defense. 12-7 is what he's sitting on right now, having picked up that op. Already actually having more impact with the op in that one round than what James had for the entirety of the game. But that's also partly due to we have seen Godsent focusing more on that B bomb site, more so than the A.
Well, they're going to do it again. You know, you love it.
Love to see it.
It's basically NRG at this point. And look at the charge. Look at the fast pace here. CZ's out there. He's going to run over the site. Krisen not going to be overwhelmed there. They actually wrap the bridge instead, so he survives for quite a while, getting a kill before he goes down. Doppman finally finishes him off. And a swap in the smoke from Demasik, even though he is low, is a very good position. And Twist has no idea as well. Buster has his back covered. Another kill coming through for Kicker. Still this low HP player, Demasik, not going to be challenged at all. He's not in a position where he's forced to get kills. Hampus certainly is. They're not on the bomb, but they're tapping it. He was going to grab one, and an M4 at least passed over. He's not going to have that to play with. And yeah, weird team kill, but AVANGAR going to win the round, so they don't really mind.
Yeah, don't really mind. And Godsent, they got a bomb plant, pretty okay with that as well. So they're going to get more money to save up with. That means that, not this round, but the following, the second to last round of the half is going to be a pretty decent buy for the Swedes at least.
However, they've definitely given AVANGAR an avenue back into this first half. It seemed like it could have been very, very one-sided if Godsent just won a couple of crucial situations.
Yeah, 5 out of the last 6 rounds have gone the way of AVANGAR. Oh, James. Needs some practice with the nades. We've seen quite a few bungled nades, actually, these couple of days. And Kickert, he's going to be aggressive here. And Playground definitely catching this off guard, but consider that this is an eco once again. Disco Doppelin is going to find one frag at least to put to his name with Dima going down, but it doesn't really matter. Last round of the half. Godsent as well, though. No op on Twist, but still a very capable opper, so a rifler. So
I hope he's a capable opper.
Yeah, yeah, you would hope so if he's the main opper for your team.
Unfortunately, though, not quite that luxury for now for Godsent. They'll have to wait for the CT side for that. Or at least take one of these 2 orbs away from AVANGAR and pick it back up, which is totally possible as well. Although one in the connector and James up on...
Well, okay, James, you really need some nade practice.
Yeah, he didn't press his jump bind there, clearly. I mean, I'm kidding. We don't have jump binds in 2018.
So that's a big no-no. And again, it's the same approach from Godsent. They really don't want to put any pressure on from fountains early on. rather opting to go through underpass.
Oh, Buster, don't jump. Either does. He jumps in for the kill, dropping the bomb and getting the information, but the wallbang is straight back, down to 5 points of health. May see a heavy rotation here from AVANGAR considering they spotted the bomb, but now that GODSENT actually have the information that they're not actually going to commit. They just chill, take a minute, retrieve the bomb. Good decision. And AVANGAR hold the man advantage here, still swapping the AWP over to the low HP Demasik.
We're finding so many openings actually in this water area as well. It doesn't seem like GODSENT have gotten many favorable trades from this position. Once again, Flash is going to come out. Buster actually spots Doppler. I don't think Doppler might be aware. He's going to get a drop on it and over by Kikert. He finds Hampus as well. So, well, it's all falling apart for GODSENT. Buster's been such a rock on this B-bomb site.
That's it.
Yep, Crescent takes that twist, 8-7. So what was looking like a excellent T side from GODSENT, being up 6-2, does end up turning entirely an 8-7 in AVANGAR's favor. That's going to be the end result of the first half. But we'll see. Maybe GODSENT have more to offer going over to the CT side, and could be the fact that AVANGAR not necessarily know what to do on the T side. Remains to be seen.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I have more faith in GODSENT having a good second half than AVANGAR here, because now moving over to their T side.
And there we go.
You know, been drinking my whatever. Now that AVANGAR move over to the T side, right, things are going to get a lot more difficult, of course. They've got to initiate the fights. They've got to have setups. And again, like, I've not seen them recently play on overpass, so I'm quite excited to see how this turns out for them. But we're straight into it. A fast play down towards the B site. Rolling down here does open up. Nice start at least on the pistol, but can he follow, or does he need to? Because he's already fallen back. They're getting chased. A monster, but Brolin is a monster. 2 more kills on the USP, make it a 4th. No way he's going to get the ace here in the pistol round. He's out of ammo, chasing for the final kill, and Hampus is going to steal it.
Wow, Hampus. Not a bro move.
Not cool.
Not cool. Not cool at all, but Brolin definitely going to get some cred for being able to find those 2 frags from the monster slope there as he's walking backwards, just nonchalantly tapping players in the heads. That was
so
just crazy. Yeah, especially because he seemed like initially starting to struggle a little bit with finding the connections to it, and then just in a matter of a second,
tap.
the entire AVANGAR push has been made obsolete.
So that's both pistols here for GODSENT, so assuming they can get these anti-codes like they did on their first half, 10-8. But even then, 10-8 with the fact that they've got 2 pistols. That means AVANGAR have put up a lot of rifle rounds, as we've seen.
Yeah.
On this B site especially.
Definitely did so. Question is if they're going to be able to do it on the T side as well. Again, we're seeing the scout coming out on James. Well, once again, it's not him purchasing it up. They're dropping him. So they're really like building around James in that sense for him to have an op. He has not really had that much of an impact on the game so far, but maybe T side is where it's going to be all coming undone for GODSENT with James wrecking fools left and right. We'll see. For this time being, though, GODSENT should be able to deal with this. Not the craziest of buys, and obviously with one of the players dropping a scout, that means that they can't get the armor either. So it's Buster with a deagle, no cav.
Oh, careful.
Tank damage done onto Twists.
The scout goes both ways here, and round number 17. And after that damage, AVANGAR definitely looking at the A site. They just need to get their bomb, so a man has gone back. That's Demasik. Close position from Disco Doppler. Buster, he needs to check this, but he's already looking lenient to do so. He's looking like he just wants to walk out of long. This position's going to be so good. They line up for him. 2 kills, make it a 3rd, and Brolin going to grab another double himself. GODSENT with a sick crossfire to lock down that round.
That was very well done. Obviously very tough for AVANGAR, really, without any sort of utility to speak of to actually be able to flash off these angles or Molotov them. Molotov them out. And that's something GODSENT plays off of very well. As you can see, Brolin and Disco Doppler combining perfectly to find what they need. And Brolin, talked about him like being one of the more exciting talents in CS in general. As of right now, sitting on top, in the top spot with 15 frags.
Ooh, Twist, he wants to steal it away though. He's already dropped a nade, now he's going for the push. Flash is perfect here for the T side, and they're going to overwhelm him with the Glocks. They slap him back, only getting a UMP for their troubles. GODSENT still with full control over this round, and one by one they should just completely rid the server of T's.
Only kicker left. I'm curious, wait, what was that? AVANGAR buying a flashbang in that scenario? Yeah, it was. I have a feeling that Twist is just sitting there to himself like, they have a clean eco. Why would you buy a flashbang?
That is the exact reason.
Yeah, that is the exact reason. So apparently reading Twist like an open book, and that's going to keep him away from getting to double figures, sitting at 9 right now. But Brolin on his end, he's sitting on 20 all of a sudden, doing pretty well for himself.
Very good start today. And GODSENT need to continue this, because again, both pistols, all conversions, and still only a 2-round lead. AVANGAR have shown that they are dominant on the CT side, but can they repeat that on the second half? That's a yes. James opened up with the AWP, dropping that of Twist. Very good start to this round, and GODSENT are going to pick up the AWP and just exit down towards B. They check Monster on the way, or not Monster, but at least the tunnel towards it. However, if they checked Monster, they would see that there are 2 Ts there on the other side.
Ooh. Get some confirmation as to what's going on. And the rest of AVANGAR slowly started to gather around Monster. Only Crizzen really away from that area, but he's towards water. And with only 2 players on GODSENT here to hold this back, this could be a really, really tough task. Seeing Dolphin thinking about rotating over towards B perhaps. Currently lurking about on A. Seems like he's moving over now as well. Oh, nice little bait setup here. Freddy is going to take all the attention. Happus is probably going to let quite a few players run through in this scenario.
Oh, what a flashbang. Great utility from AVANGAR, but you are right. He lets them all pass. No one checking the corner, and he's going to be able to get all 3. They line up. Low ammo on the M4, but it's not going to matter for 2. Third does take him down. The Buster keeps this round alive, but Brolin's rotation's good, and that nade may be better. It dunks. I'm not sure if you caught that, but they threw those nades at the same time. First nade did a bit of damage. Second nade finished off the kill. So very good utility.
That, yeah, very well done. And Hampus with such a smart play. Not sure whose call that is. Maybe it is Hampus being the game leader, or Freddy just sacrificing himself, allowing himself to be the bait in that situation. But Hampus just allowing 3 people to go past as basically saves it. Even though he doesn't have enough bullets to get all 3 kills, he's put the last member down to so low HP that it doesn't really matter at that point. But GODSENT just really heads up play with the limited manpower they had on the site.
AVANGAR are going to check that spot every single round from now on.
Maybe that's something GODSENT is banking on.
Oh yeah, it's something you could definitely play around. A bit of
don't want to let that happen to you twice, right?
Fool me once. 11-8. The AWP back in the hands of Twist, and an aggressive long setup, which isn't really what they need right now, considering AVANGAR are hitting toilets pretty fast. This double scope's bad because Twist is going to be exposed to 2 angles. There we go. That's why he repositions to the left and hides from the toilet. But it's going to be a push from exactly the bathrooms. Twist, one shot. Looked like he was going to hit that no-scope. Would have been a bit worrying, but they won't be able to get the AWP so easily. Jane does, though. Giving an AWP to play with is a very bad decision here from GODSENT, but they should be able to isolate him. And Freddy finds 3 on the retake. Bomb not even down.
That was a bunch of tanky terrorists right there.
Yeah, right. Taking some real bullets.
So many shots. But yeah, they only get 1 kill out of it, and even then, even though it's Twist going down with the off, they're able to salvage it as well. So no real harm done.
This is the round that matters right now.
Yep.
Because AVANGAR already have 2-3 buys left of this game unless they start to win some rounds. So if GODSENT win this, it's not only 13 but anti-eco. So in theory, 14 rounds to 8, and AVANGAR will run out of options then. So we need to see something to come out from these Ts. Whatever they've got in their strat book, it needs to be pulled out right here, right now.
Let's see some aggression coming out. Similar to what we saw AVANGAR do on their CT side a little bit. There we go. Brolin doing the same thing Kickert did, finding an opening frag in playground, and that's also going to be the bomb dropped. So someone from AVANGAR is going to have to go back to retrieve it. And also GODSENT playing this wisely, knowing they're a man up, might as well fall back to more passive positions and play it from there. Allow it to be AVANGAR's move next up. Still quite a bit of utility as well left on the side of GODSENT. 3 Molotovs, which is pretty big on a map like Overpass. Ooh. Team. See if he can find somebody straying off course on B.
He's looking for timing.
Is nobody going to pick up the bomb? There we go.
Oh, what a shot. How does he hit that? Twist even had a little warning. He saw the side of his body coming through. So nice trade from James, 4v4.
Freddy in a similar position. It doesn't have Hampus with him this time around.
Will they check it? Yes, they do, but it does. Almost catches him off guard. He does flick back and at least take down Hampus, but for a second that could have been dangerous. 2-on-4 retake now as the bomb is planted here for AVANGAR, or at least repositioned because Kristen gets naded. But he's going to walk into the spray of the M4 that's already worked its way down the bridge. 2v3, this retake is actually so doable right now for GODSENT, but they just need to try and isolate another frag, try and equalize this score because it's not that easy. James shuts down another, and even though Disco Doppelin trades, it's a 1v2 with not a lot of time or health for that matter, and Kicker will not let him stand.
Kicker doing an excellent job there as they push out through a monster. But that's all set up by the fact that James is able to find twists on B right before. And again, even though AVANGAR didn't actually check the corner this time around, Hampus is not able to do some damage after Freddy loosens up the targets initially. There you have it. Much needed round for AVANGAR. They are in a situation where they could still get reset though. That's the real danger. You talked about how easily GODSENT could get up to 14 rounds if AVANGAR were to drop one of these with how shaky their economy is.
Fast play though, look at the speed from AVANGAR, they're going straight into B. The Molotov will stop them, that's actually thrown by the T's to deny any short control of the CT side, stop them from pushing up aggressively. That hasn't happened. In fact, they've taken long control with 3 players and they're going to start to regret that decision, but luckily enough, AVANGAR will not be committing. The bomb will make its way back through the fountain. And AVANGAR, they've given up pretty much all of their B control. They haven't even left one player down towards this site to try and hold that rotate.
A bit of a new twist, I guess, on the setup I absolutely loathe. This time it's 2 players, and I think this is, well, it's heavy commitment, but it's going to be a lot more effective. Roland finds the first one, and James still has no idea that there's a second player here as well.
Oh, he's worked it out, but does he know about the second? As you said, 48 seconds on the clock now. They've got to make a commitment. They're beginning to run out of time, and utility is almost a miss.
They're actually going to rotate back over towards B here. It's still 2 players from GODSENT, though, defending. Freddy, Hampus, no nades, really. Well, 1 Molotov on Freddy.
They molly the back line, so the monster gets mollied in response. The push has to come through, though. Hampus has it on lock, and they're actually waiting for the flames to expose, so Hampus reposition back on the barrel, hoping they don't have any more utility to get him out, and he may be right in that assumption. But can he get the shots to follow up? 1 kill, and James again on the trade. This man has been keeping AVANGAR in this round after round. Although he's now the last man up, and at least he started things off well. But with 8 seconds left up, there's no way he can contest the round. He's got to go save that AWP.
Yeah. Well, did his damnedest to keep AVANGAR in this, and he's going to find a 4th as well, but not enough to have an impact to win the round. And that puts GODSENT on 13, and we mentioned this would mean a reset for AVANGAR. They do manage to hold an AWP into it, but I don't know how AVANGAR are going to approach this. If they're going to allow for James, if they're basically going to have 4 meat shields and see if James can actually get trade kills the entire way as they move closer to a bomb site, or if James is going to be the aggressor here.
Well, it's very easy to rotate in between sites in this map at the very least.
Yeah.
So James can certainly just bound between the 2 and find entries. Down that connector. But for now, a short tactical pause for AVANGAR. They try and approach the situation. And we're back in as soon as you know it. I like the 30-second pauses.
This is an interesting buy here. So
yeah,
Kristen has bought an AK for Kicker. Kicker bought a Deagle, and Kevlar dropped the Deagle over to Kristen. But they've heavily committed for this round as well. But it's got to be on James and Kristen, James and Kicker to actually do all the heavy lifting, more or less. James is quickly going to go up towards the fountain area. Doesn't find anyone, but he does have Brolin lurking around the pillar there. No, it's a question of timing, actually.
There's no teammate to flash him around the corner, so it's very unlikely that Brolin will just walk through. But yeah, he's heard that. He's heard the scope. He knows there's a player, but all the way at the back watching. And James going to hear the rat back round from the party, so he can take the refrag. Still keeping it in a 4v4.
Well, It's a solid trade for AVANGAR. You loosen up the defensive Godsent, and you also only lose a Deagle, really. Still being able to hold on to that off. But what this has done as well is sent... Ooh, nice shot from James there on the A-long, actually.
Oh, they're going to hit. There's still a player caught out in the open, though. Twist is going to get sandwiched in between the two. Cannot find a kill. And this weak buy from AVANGAR is certainly proving its power. 4-on-2 now as the retake is on. Hampus can only just get up the steps. And I like this from Chris, not committing to the duel. No reason to take the fight if you don't want to. Force Hampus to do it himself. And they're just not going to give him any kind of openings. Even the player wrapping long is playing slowly. It's more exits here for GODSENT than anything else.
Yeah, it's a bad round to give up. I think Brolin was in an impeccable situation to do a ton of damage for the longest time. But the fact that he actually kills Buster when he wants to swing around onto James after hearing the scope, he can still just sit behind the pillar, and he can pretty much force James into only going at him from one angle, and that's moving back up the steps and around the pillar. Because if he tries to jump on top of it, then he's a dead man. Because the jump is going to give away what he's doing. But Brolin deciding to wide peek on him, gets taken out. That, again, weakens the defense so significantly on A. And the plan from GODSENT there was to have two players push aggressively around the T-spawn. But, again, Doppelin getting picked off from Bank by James. And then that followed up with Twist playing too aggressively in Restroom. Doesn't allow for the rotation to come in at a time where it's actually going to be useful at all. So they kind of negate their own play after trading equally to start the round off.
And another one of those crucial pauses as we start to reach, well, crunch time here.
Yeah.
13-10, GODSENT. What are they doing with the money? They're committing to the buy. Ooh.
Oh, that's a real ugly buy.
Yeah.
But I guess they knew they were in a situation where they would have to double eco.
Yeah,
that's kind of where they find themselves in.
It's not necessarily a bad decision. It's just like
the buy doesn't become prettier.
No, right. I'm not gonna say it's a good buy, but it makes sense.
Yeah, it's not a bad economic decision. No. To put it that way. It's just that they didn't have too much to scrape up. 2
Deagles though, basically AWPs for these guys.
Also have a CZ in there. So I mean, we did see AVANGAR being able to do a fair bit of damage in that previous round with very limited weaponry as well. Obviously, the AWP is missing, and so is a rifle in that sense, or a good rifle. But if you find the right angle, if you get the right timings, that could be all you need. And Brolin had a golden opportunity to take out Buster, but it's not able to connect his shots, and Buster's going to be quick enough to adjust. Still, though, not too much movement from GODSENT.
Now holding for this connector peak, and it is at least under the control of the CT side. Freddie B. Got to be very careful. It's Hampus alone on A. And although Freddie B will be able to come in with a quick rotation down through the connector, AVANGAR slowly but surely clearing out the extremities of this A bomb site. The AWP almost finding the headshot there as the entry kill. James not going to be able to get it, can just run up with his team. At least be traded down to these the last men, because AVANGAR have the man advantage and all they care about really is rounds. Krisen is well working his way up that. Safe rotation coming through. We do have a man in the connector still. That is Twist with the CZ, but he's been spotted. They have a man on the back line watching it, and Twist is there. Demus with the kill. Kick it, nice shot through the smoke as well. And the only frag from the CT side has finally come out from Hampus. Although damage has been done to 2, they need to actually finish off the damage, and Hampus does exactly that. Freddie B as well with the FAMAS. They just might not expect the AWP still in this position, and this could be the make or break. They jump spot it, they have the info, they're trying to force the shot at least so James is scoped out and they can get the kill, but he is not biting, but the smoke switch might just do it. Chase him down and put him down to 20 HP, but they're not going to be able to stick this bomb because both T's are separated. 2 different angles, and Freddie finds one of them. No kit on Hampus, so Freddie has to stick the bomb, and Hampus has to cover the defuse as Dima, he's not going to peek. Did he not think they were sticking it in a 2v1?
I don't know what
that
is
was.
interesting. Yeah. I feel like in a 2v1, there's like certain scenarios. Obviously, in a 1v1, that's a bit of a coin toss, whether or not he's going to stick it, depending on how much time's left, what kind of positioning you have, where the bomb is planted. But in a 2v1...
Especially when they hunted so hard for James.
Yeah, I feel like in a 2v1, you've put down a smoke as well, or like a smoke is down, that was James, but like in a 2v1, there's almost always going to be somebody sticking that diffuse.
Yeah.
That's
the only way you win the round.
Exactly, that's kind of the benefit you have of having a man out, you can actually throw away that. You still have a pretty doable situation in a 1v1 duel like that, right?
Yeah.
So you're just putting the pressure on the T. So
I feel like he didn't see the diffuser because, of course, I think it was Freddie B was standing in front of Hampers, or other way around, whatever it was.
If you can't see 2 players, then you'd have to assume.
Yeah,
right? Like,
no,
it's not like
yeah,
one guy's
exactly.
ran off on long and just been like, yep, I'm out.
Exactly.
Fortunate for GODSENT to have a diffuse kit, though, in that situation.
Definitely a good purchase. Too many times you see these kind of weak pistol buys actually like get down to the 1v1s, and then
nobody has spot a diffuse kit.
Whoops. It's just good to see like that basic mistake has not been made. So many teams do that. Yeah. Ooh. I like this boost. I'm a fan. Nice.
There we have it. Man advantage going in the direction of GODSENT. They also figure out where the Opera on the side of AVANGAR is. 3 players on this bomb site. Could make for some lethal crossfires. And they're actually going to push aggressively here. Might get caught out or might catch. Brawling a little bit too quick on the trigger finger.
Oh, I love it. Double peek, though. Keeping things in check here for the T side. Nade is just a bit off timing. Luckily enough, Twist is there to trade, but does he realize a man has wormed his way out of long? He's too focused, he's too tunnel vision, but the ammo is out, the mag is dry, and Twist has got to hit some shots. How does he find that frag? The trade comes in, but Twist has done what he needs to do, and the CTs are going to begin to challenge before the bomb goes down. 15 seconds left, and there's no way James getting his $800 today. The CZ's out, he's hunting for frags. Freddie B sits on the site, and he does get the 1v1 down, but can he finish it off? He goes to the plant. There might just be enough time. Hamper's not baited in, and the plant is through. Jay may have just saved this round. All he needs to do is find his final single bullet to the head of Hampus, and he has no idea where James sits. He can see the shadow, though. He should be able to see the movement, and now he knows. Surely he knows. Surely he saw it around the box, and there it is. He finds the kill, but that came very, very close. How the hell does James put that bomb down?
Yeah, that was way too close. I think the shadow, by the way, is from the pillar.
Oh my god, the shadow's from the pillar.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why you didn't see Hampus react to it. But yeah, that was insanely close. And to think that it becomes so clustered as well, right? And at first point, you think to yourself, like, GODSENT, yeah, they definitely have this under control. Then Disco Doppling gets taken out. Twist is missing shots. Is getting caught out by 3 different players. Somehow managed to find Buster as well. Like, that changes the tide again, and you're like, okay, now GODSENT definitely has it with the time running down.
I love the pre-bomb plant peak as well. Like, when you time it,
oh, yeah.
It's so good.
That's exceptional. Well, it's made matters worse. No op in the hands on Jame, and Jame just really came into it in the second half here with his op, having much more impact than what he did throughout the entirety of the first half. It's not going to be a weapon at disposal for AVANGAR. Instead, it's going to be more pistols up against better weaponry from GODSENT. James baits that one shot, but that just leads Brawlin to turn his head. And Hampus has also found Kristen on the opposite side of the map.
Ooh, there's a kill, though.
Through the smoke as well, like as the smoke was blooming.
That is annoying. GODSENT lose a B player. We haven't seen too much presence down B since the early start of this half. Haven't got focused on this A bomb site. And so far, it's been inconsistent. GODSENT with a big lead by 5 rounds.
With how whittled down AVANGAR has been already, no real reason for GODSENT to necessarily stack up heavy towards one of the 2 bomb sites. And we've seen Hampus and Freddie being able to actually dish out some decent damage as a 2-man defender. So Hampus, in addition to Twist, should be all right for now. And Doppelin with the off angle, still not going to work out. Demastic, quick adaptation there, but Brawlin's quick to trade. Brawlin's having a great game.
Yeah, no surprise there. 26 kills. He's looking for more. There's another shot. The bomb dropped with 20 seconds up, but he doesn't expect the close position from Buster with the Deagle. This man is so good with this pistol, but he doesn't have a lot of time to show us his skills. He's got to get that plant in, or at least force a kill. Twist going for the fight, as the bomb is stuck for the money that needs to come through. AVANGAR aren't going to have time to play with it, because GODSENT win the retake, and that will be a victory on map number 1. 16-10, the Swedes overrun AVANGAR.
They do. Eventually, it wasn't necessarily as clean as you would have liked it to be. No. Again, GODSENT getting off to a very good start in the first half, leading 6-2, and then dropping the ball, allowing AVANGAR to come back into it. At that point, it feels like it's anybody's game. But as you mentioned as well, winning 2 pistols on one map, that usually means you're set up for success, and that ended up being the case for GODSENT as well.
And the conversions, which is always nice, right? It's,
yeah, well, obviously, yes.
Yeah, that comes with it. So 6 rounds for free at the very least off the back of those pistols. So yeah, a bit of a lead, and as you can see, 16-10. That's pretty equal scoreline, to be honest, considering they got pistols. And yeah, I'd say a good game for GODSENT. AVANGAR not able really to get too much done on that second half, though.
Yeah, no, they ran into a bit of a rough time, but then again, they didn't have too many. That great of buys, right? They had to get into a situation where they had to save the ops on Jame. What did they do? The funky buy up with I think it was Kristen dropping an AK for Geeker and so on. And they managed to make some of it work, but they never had like the full economy in their hands to where they had all the utility at their disposal, where everyone is fully decked out, and they pretty much had a free, just a a la carte menu of choice really as to what they wanted to do, and that eventually came back to haunt them. Their economy was just too unstable in the long run of things. But this was GODSENT's map pick. That's something that we have to reiterate, the fact that it's not necessarily expected for AVANGAR to take this away from them. Yeah, and a sick map from Brolin, as you mentioned in that last round. 27 kills from the young star, only, what, 15 years old? Yeah.
Pretty crazy stuff. As well as Jame. I think Jame had a great game, considering the fact that, again, he was recently removed from this roster.
It's a great second half. That's where I would put it too.
That's probably a good point.
But to be fair, like, he wasn't given as many opportunities on the first half as well, because GODSENT was focusing so heavily on their B pressure. That's where Buster and those guys were hanging out. Yeah. So Jame didn't really get into the thick of things. It's kind of rough to be the guy who always has to rotate into a bomb set that's being executed on when you're at a deficit. You don't necessarily have all the utility, so on and so on, and you have to kind of figure out where all of the GODSENT players are in an after plan. So I'll give him that. He did definitely play a massive part in the T side in the second half for AVANGAR. Even though it didn't lead to a lot of rounds, he was the one guy kind of keeping them in there. Yeah, seemingly getting a kill or two every single round. But unfortunately, not enough for a victory there. That will be GODSENT, as you say, taking their map pick. And we're going to head to Cash, second map up in just a minute. We'll see you after the break.